Good morning, folks. Today is June 15th. This is episode 132 of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I'm your host, Gerald Auger, and over the next 30 minutes, I'll be delivering to you the top cybersecurity news of the day and providing expert analysis on each of those stories, what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break in the industry, we got you covered like a boss. Shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. I want to remind you, if you hold professional certifications like CISP, CISA, CISM, I know some of you have been posting on social all your great accomplishments. Hold on, that might be too much light, Jer. Each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So that's 2.5 a week, 10 a month, 40 every 4 months. It's 120 a year. It's perfect. Most of these certifications require 40 CPEs a year and 120 over a 3-year period. So be sure to document literally the easiest and I would argue the most enjoyable way to document or to earn CPEs, right? So just say what's up in chat, right? So Brian Peak. No need to, that's not a pseudonym, right? Brian can be like, check it out, auditor. There I am right there. But someone like user 6721, you might want to say, good morning, I'm, Dave Jones or whatever, just so an auditor can't dispute that or have some way to track back to your pseudonym, okay? If you are live, love it. Thanks for being here. I see about 52 of us already stacked in here. Very nice. I'm not really digging my lighting. I feel like I look like undead, but I'll work through that throughout the stream. If you are on replay, thanks for catching the stream. Base and Will over at NCC. I definitely enjoy you guys catching the replay and understand the West Coast vibes. Yulachua, if you're in here, appreciate you coming in from the West Coast. Axiom Brevity, I see you. If you want to jump right to the start of the show, if you're on replay, when the screen changes and everything turns into news, that's when it begins. But for the next, I don't know, say 2 minutes, I'm void of timer right now. But for the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to be enjoying a cup of coffee with the Simply Cyber community and being super pumped to welcome everybody into chat. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Rich. Hey, Kimberly. Good to see you. Shane Prevost, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Bill Green. Shane, I want to know, are the kids going to tune in on summer break too? Or is it a school, is it ride to school viewing only? Hey, Chinuri, good to see you. Morning team. Hey, Eric, good to see you. Squad goals. Guys, we got a new squad member. I saw BM Robertson either renewed or is joining the squad. Either way, it's a good excuse to use this. Thanks for the squad support. Good morning, Eddie Del Castillo. Guys, hey, big news. If you're on the Simply Cyber Discord server, just hit ! Discord in chat to get a link to it. If you're on the server, we boosted to level 3, which is a thing, and it unlocks some cool stuff. So now if you want to share the Discord server with someone, just type in discord.gd/simplycyber, and it'll take them right there. It's a custom invite. There's like an animated banner on the server and stuff like that. It's all cosmetic, but it's fun, right? Who doesn't like a good time? Oh, hey, DJ BSEC. Well, welcome back to the streams. I hope you enjoyed your R&R. I'm on location at my in-laws. And yeah, so guys, I'll get into this later, but I upgraded my lighting situations. Now I can really get dark, get spicy. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it cool until I flip out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good morning, Delquare, Chinadu. Oh, guys, I just want to share too. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but based on the numbers and the different sites and sources that we're pumping to every day, we're close to about 200 people joining us live in chat every morning. So to those of you on the West Coast who get up early, this is for you. For those on the East Coast who are here with me at the 8 a.m., this is rise and grind time. And if for the international folks coming from Europe, Africa, Asia, good evening to you, and I appreciate your time and being here. Let's get ready for the news, guys. All right, let's get into the news. Check this out. I actually spent like 10 minutes yesterday coming up with a new vibe here. Look at this. All right, so just for the next 5 weeks, we'll use this layout. That way, I don't have to keep screwing around with all the nuances. Let's get into the news, guys. Oh, also stay with us because we will be raffling off a pound of coffee, compliments of Whole Cyber Human Initiative later in the stream. So if you're interested in coffee, you're interested in winning stuff, stay with us, okay? All right, let's get into the news.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. U.S. defense contractor discusses takeover of NSO hacking technology. L3Harris, a U.S. defense contractor, is negotiating with NSO Group to potentially acquire its controversial Pegasus surveillance technology. The deal would also potentially include NSO transferring personnel to L3Harris. Both U.S. and Israeli governments would need to approve the deal, which could prove challenging since the Biden administration blacklisted NSO last year. A senior White House official said, quote, "Such a transaction, if it were to take place, raises serious counterintelligence and security concerns for the U.S. government," end quote.
Okay, so this is insane. This is insane. Okay, so I don't know anyone in chat. So I worked in the federal IT space. I supported the U.S. Marine Corps for a while. Like there's defense contractors all over the place. I'm not familiar with L3Harris. I know L3. I have to assume L3, the L3 that I know of acquired or merged with some Harris group or something like that. Guys, the NSO group is like basically a cyber weapons arm dealer, for lack of a better term, that operates out of Israel. They are most famously known for their Pegasus software, but they have a couple other ones. Pegasus is basically a no-click, complete compromise of an iPhone, right? So basically, if I want to own, like Kayla Rose, I don't know, my volume's low. Subs or mods, can you comment on what volume is low, whether it's my podcast, my mic, sound effects? I don't know, Kayla, when you say my volume is low, what that means. Guys, NSO Group is got this Pegasus software, which means I can basically take over your phone. I can send a text message to Joel Belton, and like I own his phone. I can see his text messages. I can see his pictures, his email. I can monitor him. I could probably turn on the mic and listen in like an eavesdropping device. So it's a very controversial piece of software, and it's supposed to be used for law enforcement only. But we just saw a couple months ago, it came up that in the Catalina party in Spain or Portugal. Again, I'm kind of butchering this, but in Spain or Portugal, there's some like political party that had found NSO Group's Pegasus software on their devices. Obviously not for law enforcement, but for espionage on a rival, a rival political party, right? So it can be weaponized. The fact that a defense contractor wants to use it, I mean, obviously, like follow the money. Like they're not going to be selling it to law enforcement only. It's going to be a weapon in their cache of offerings, and it makes them a way more appealing vendor to want to work with if you're interested in targeting very specific people. This has every reason for government oversight, and actually this becomes an interesting conversation because some people think that government oversight is way too much and it's like federalism, and some people and libertarians feel this way, and some people feel like it needs to be in place because it's supposed to be there to protect people. This is a perfect example. Yeah, this is a perfect example of when government oversight is really important, because this thing can be transferred all around. Josh Mason's telling me that there's more to this article. I can't really consume it and host this thing, so I don't know what's going on. But okay, do you want to do that? All right. So Josh Mason's saying that he has context around the military part. Let's bring Josh on really quick. This is very unusual for the morning threat briefing, but we'll ride with it. We'll ride dirty with this one. It can work on Android as far as I know. It's like a total super solution. right? It is very cool, very powerful, and for very good reason. It's supposed to be a controlled weapon. Let's bring Josh Mason in just to get his thoughts on this one. Josh, what do you know about this?
So NSO Group runs out of Israel. They've kind of been blocked by the US government because they kind of just let the software go out and be used by whomever, which is why you saw it in Spain. By L3 Harris purchasing or acquiring NSO Group, then they, as a military contractor, are then able to basically sell it to the government. And now the US government would then, and L3 Harris, would control where it goes, how it's used, and it wouldn't just be sold, it would be added to the arsenal and any later developments, because what's out there is already out there, but it's limited use licenses, and it all ties back to NSO Group for actual use. So by moving it, it locks down what's already out there. It no longer has that C2 infrastructure. And then when it is used, it's probably not going to be used the way we think it is. It'll be used in its ability to override iOS features, which is something that the U.S. military and the U.S. government's been interested in a long time, has been working on. So,
yeah, it definitely is a powerful weapon to add to the cache. And, it almost makes, just by you saying that, it makes me wonder if you guys remember the Vault 7 leak 3, 4, 5 years ago was the NSA's entire toolbox. That's where Eternal Blue came from, Double Pulsar. Like, basically their whole weapons cache got exposed. So there's two ways to develop technology. You either develop it in-house or you acquire it. And it's interesting that, this would be one way to acquire it. Obviously not the US government. That would be a little too on the nose for the US government to acquire it directly. But to go through L3 Harris would be interesting. And unless it's a play by L3 Harris, I'd have to check their financials to see how their business is doing and see if this is like a Hail Mary attempt to regain.
I'll tell you, they're fine. L3 is fine. And they're in the space doing the sort of work that this kind of fits into their user. I really want to share more, and then I realize like I've got NDAs and clearance stuff that I can't. But there's good reason. It fits kind of who their customer is and what they're doing. And the U.S. military or the U.S. government can't use NSO Group's stuff because it's not sourced from the U.S. Supply chain, right?
Yeah.
L3 Harris acquiring them brings that technology here. Now it's American owned, and now it can be American used.
That's funny. It's funny. Yeah. You're just putting a T-shirt on the mannequin, and now it's okay to use.
Well, it's a little bit more than that, because by acquiring them, then they control it as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but it's not like they're going to rewrite the code. I mean, the code is the code.
Oh no, they probably will. They'll probably rewrite the code, and
so they're really just buying. Ways. They're just buying access to the exploit of of whatever the vulnerability is that's been
and the developers. They want those mines.
Yeah, but the story says acquiring NSO Group's hacking technology, not acquiring NSO Group the business. So how do they get the staff as well?
We will see. It'll be interesting to watch and follow. It might just be their IP. That'd be interesting. But
yeah, and I mean, yeah, you are making a compelling argument. You could say that, like in the military, like in the for people who don't know this, in the professional services of DoD contracting, if L3 Harris wins a contract, and let's say NSO Group had the contract before, the people who work at NSO Group will just go work for L3 Harris. It's called flipping badges. It's actually a common practice. That way you stay on the same project and you don't care who your employer is.
Exactly. So we do this thing in the U.S. foreign military sales, where we're allowed to sell things that we give to the military to other militaries. Ironically, it usually doesn't work the other way around. If other people have things for us to acquire them, it actually then has to go through like an L3 Harris. We're usually not going to buy things directly from NSO. Now, it's complicated, and that's not always the case, but generally, we want to run things through an American contractor for American use in the government and military. So
I like it.
yeah, cool. I'm gonna jump off.
All right. Well, why don't I just push you to the side, and if you want to come in, we'll do kind of a wild hump day stream. I mean, if you want, I won't bring you in on everything, but if hit me in mod chat if you got something to share, okay?
Yeah, I'll sit over here and listen.
All right, guys. So let's continue the show. Getting some hot context from one Josh Mason. Let's spice it.
It's looking spicy.
Yeah, temporary spicy command. Okay, let's go.
DOJ will no longer prosecute ethical hackers.
Thank goodness.
Last week, the U.S. Department of Justice announced it will not bring charges against researchers and ethical hackers acting in good faith. The ruling more clearly defines computer hacking under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986. The DOJ stated that good faith refers to those carrying out their activity, quote, in a manner designed to avoid any harm to individuals or the public, end quote. The policy also forces prosecutors to prove that defendants were aware that their hacking activity was unlawful.
Wow. Okay, so this is actually kind of information. Let me fix this so it looks good on stream. This is actually groundbreaking information, guys. So the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986 has notoriously been weaponized by by the Department of Justice, or by justice in general, for prosecuting people for hacking, right? And the whole context, go look up Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The law states that basically if you access a system in an unauthorized way, right? And when we think of that, we think of like Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie in the movie Hackers, and they're like, phone freaking and getting in and changing what TV shows are on TV. But it went way beyond that. So like, you're an honest person and you accidentally stumble into something and you notify the vendor and they have you arrested. This is how it was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was very like dark and shady and criminalized, and people, like some guy at DEF CON, a couple like in the early years of DEF CON, got arrested as soon as he got off stage, I think because he exposed some vulnerability from Cisco. I might get the vendor wrong, but that definitely happened. Someone got arrested as soon as they got off stage. Now, here's the really interesting thing. As we got into vulnerability disclosure and bug bounties, and corporate America began to realize, holy crap, there's like massive value here. We're getting like not free security research, but we're getting professional services, and we only have to pay for when they produce. This is actually huge value. So they began adjusting Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Before I move off Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, I want to tell you, it's unauthorized access. So you could be a legit, this has happened too, you could be a legit user, like you're Carl, who works at wingdings.com, and you have access to the R&D stuff because for some reason we're going to give Carl access to that. Okay. And then Carl accidentally accesses a file share that's open that has HR materials, and the CEO of the company hates Carl because Carl made some like passing remarks at the town hall meeting or whatever. Carl could be held and arrested for violating Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Not that Carl was hacking, but by the letter of the law, Carl violated it because he didn't have access to that piece of data, and it was unauthorized access. And people have been tried on that too. So it's not just the uber anti-establishment hacker. It was like regular people too. I'm super pumped to see that the DOJ has gone as far as now saying that they will no longer prosecute ethical hackers. The idea that they're saying you have to have malicious intent, and that if you have good faith security research, you will not be charged under CFAA. This is so big, and you can see that this decision stemmed from a landmark 2021 ruling where the Supreme Court ruled in favor of police officers who was charged with accepting a kickback for accessing a database. Whoa, that sucks. Okay, so the Supreme Court heard a case, and this is another example. A police officer was taking bribes in order to basically like go check, like, oh, hey, like I'm interested in this lady at my work. I don't really know anything about her. Here's her license plate. Can you give me her address? And like the police officer was doing this for a fee, right? Which is totally scum, but he was tried under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and the idea of whether or not it was authorized access, et cetera, et cetera. So that has nothing to do with cybersecurity, but it is an interesting case study on why this thing went to the Supreme Court. And obviously, I'm sure you have your own opinions in chat on the appropriateness of using a police system database that way. But anyways, the good news is we're continuing to move in a positive direction as we embrace security researchers, well-intentioned people looking to help improve the overall security posture of businesses and governments. So way to go. I'm glad.
Attack on Kaiser Permanente exposes data of thousands of customers. Kaiser Permanente has warned that threat actors may have stolen sensitive personal identifiable information of nearly 70,000 customers. The not-for-profit healthcare provider claims to have terminated the unauthorized access just hours after the hack began. Kaiser Permanente also reset the password of an employee's account which was used in the breach and provided the employee with additional security training. While patient names and medical records were potentially accessed, the company believes that social security numbers and credit card info was not exposed.
All right. So it's been a while since we had a big juicy data breach. Let me do this. It's been a while since we had a big juicy data breach. A couple things here. One, it's going to happen. I feel like people are desensitized at this point. Kaiser Permanente, they called a nonprofit. That's probably the most interesting thing in the news story to me. I didn't realize Kaiser Permanente is a nonprofit. They are a wicked, they make tons of money. They're everywhere, right? Like they are huge. And the fact that they're a nonprofit seems more like a tax evasion scam than it does like their righteous mission. Like you can see they like their logo is at the NHL Stanley Cup Finals around the boards. So not that nonprofits can't advertise. Okay, so 70,000 people, they did the right thing. They shut off access to the compromised account right away. They changed the password on that account. They've notified personnel, which they had to. In the United States, anything over 500 healthcare records that get compromised, you have to report to HHS, the Health and Human Services, for the wall of shame. Oh, Kenton, they will be on the wall of shame. They probably won't be fined. I've worked in healthcare for 6 or 7 years. I was a very senior information security member on a healthcare, in a healthcare information security office. I actually tried out for CISO, but they passed on me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. No, it's all right. It's good. It's good. No, I'm fine. So, if you are well-intended, right? So 70,000 people, that sucks that their information got out. But if you're well-intentioned, you react quickly, you do the right things, like do a risk assessment, all this stuff, HHS will not fine you typically. Now, if this was like the third time in 2 months that Kaiser Permanente had a breach, they might get fined then. But for the most part, the fines are really, the fines are more of like a stick that they beat you with for not trying to do the right things, right? So we see the fines more coming with like negligence, gross negligence, and those type of things. So if you're one of these people who got their data exposed, that sucks. But you could just put the we take your privacy seriously letter and stick it with all the other ones that takes your privacy seriously over here in this pile. It like at this point, our data is out there, guys. It sucks, but it's true.
Firefox enables anti-tracking feature by default. Mozilla announced that all Firefox desktop users will now be protected by the browser's total cookie protection feature by default. Firefox's protections isolate cookies, which prevents user tracking and monitoring without their consent. Mozilla launched the feature in 2021, but users had to enable it by switching on Firefox's privacy mode. Earlier this year, Mozilla also brought total cookie protection to the Firefox Focus browser for Android devices. And now, a word from our...
All right. So, guys, in the year 2022, it's my feed, man. Hold on. So many windows. So it's the year 2022, guys. Okay. Like, people have begun to take privacy seriously. So DuckDuckGo is getting a lot of press or adoption. Brave browser is getting a lot of adoption. If you're into privacy and protecting yourself a little bit, these are the deals. So now we're beginning to see a rush, if you will, or a push by Google Chrome and Firefox to incorporate some of these privacy features, these non-tracking features. Like people are wise to the fact that like you're selling their data and you're tracking them and you've developed personas and targeted ads and all this other crap, right? We even saw the other day where like Even if you go over a VPN, Google Chrome has a JavaScript vulnerability where you can still identify where the person comes through. So someone developed an extension that handles it at the layers 5, 6, and 7 of the OSI stack, right? So I'm not surprised about this. What is interesting to me, like, way to go, Firefox. Thanks for including this anti-tracking feature. What I think is interesting and indicative of the balance between corporate America selling our data and actually caring about the end user is that this feature was not enabled by default. It was actually available, which I didn't see a press release on it, right? I don't use Firefox. So maybe like when you launched it the first day it was available, it was like, hey, do you want to turn on this? But if I had to guess, they put it in and they're like, look what we're doing. Yay. And then people are like, they're like, that's not enough. So now they make it by default, which I feel like is the right way. So, way to go. I'm not surprised. We're going to continue to see browsers, which is a main application that many, many end users use to access the internet, continue to have privacy rich features and functionality. All right. So it's time for the commercial or the break, whatever you want to call it. I want to share here. Leveraging free resources, education. They've kind of curated it in a way they can help mentor you. Go over to Whole Cyber Human Initiative. I'll drop it in chat, mods, if you can please add that into the stream. And in order to give back to the community, Whole Cyber Human Initiative is raffling off coffees in conjunction with Simply Cyber this week. So the code word that you guys want to use is, I'm going to put it in chat right now. Okay. If you want to enter to win a pound of Hackerman coffee, which is pretty good stuff, go ahead and drop Team Red in chat right now. I'm going to drop it in my chat. Team Red. And the reason it's Team Red is because today is Red versus Blue Day. And I am Team Red. I'm Team Red all day, people. And I'm going to be whooping on Eric Taylor. I've got my US Cyber Games competitive jersey on right now. So go ahead and drop Team Red. It's one word. Oh God. I'm choosing terrible contest words. It's Team Red, one word. Team Red, one word. Please. Guys, I'll get better at raffles and finding code words. Yesterday, I did a GRC, which was confusing people for exclamation point GRC. Team Red, one word. Everybody's doing it right now. This looks good. And I'm just, even though this is how you're entering the raffle, I'm pretending that you're all cheering me on today for the live heads up battle that I'll be taking on. While everybody's entering, I will just plug that really quickly. Here's the Simply Cyber Instagram. It's Gerald Auger, Simply Cyber, one word. So if you want to give a follow over at the Instagram, I'd appreciate that. But here is the event today at 11:30 a.m. today. So just in a couple hours, on 3 different feeds. I will be operating the red team and Eric Taylor will be operating the blue team. We will be doing a live attack. I will be trying to attack his oil and gas pipeline company that he is responsible for protecting. You can watch my feed. You can watch Eric's feed. You can watch ThreatGen's feed that will have the eShout casting esport event coverage. Okay. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be a wicked good time. I promise you. Come hang out. Come check it out. Okay. And this is what it looks like when you actually get to the YouTube channel. All right. I'll talk on that later if anyone's interested. All right. Let's cut the music and get back to the stream.
Sponsor, Datadog. Watch and treacherous digital economy. Watch now at datadoghq.com/CISO. Security leaders rank cyber priorities for 2022. ForgePoint Capital surveyed U.S. security and technology executives to determine C-suite cybersecurity priorities for the remainder of 2022. 3/4 of respondents indicated that they expect security budgets to increase in 2022 with a focus on a combination of traditional and new security controls. Top initiatives included securing cloud infrastructure and APIs, DevSecOps, identity management, and data management. Respondents from small and medium sized businesses also indicated they are prioritizing addressing supply chain risk, social engineering awareness, and talent development.
Okay. I'm going to push back hard on this. And Josh, I don't know if you're going to have a comment on this, but listen to me, guys. This report is saying that security leaders rank, hold on, let me make this big so people can really see this. Okay. Security leaders rank cyber priorities for 2022. Okay. Listen to me. They just said the leaders see an increase in budget coming. Have you been watching the news? Like, is this report from like 3 months ago? Dude, big tech companies are laying off all over the place. There's like an impending recession in the United States. I don't see like a throttle up of budget coming to um, cybersecurity teams, right? Like we already have to beg, borrow, and steal, scratch and claw, and make compelling arguments to get money, right? And then you're still asked to uh, make a dollar out of 15 cents. What's up, Tupac? Thank you for that. So I'm not sure that this is 100% accurate, this report. What I will say, as far as like the money goes, but what I will say is they actually talk about their priorities for medium-sized organizations. Supply chain security is being prioritized, and social engineering awareness. This is interesting, okay? Supply chain, I agree 100%. We just saw, yeah, it is. It is the spicy alert. Yeah. We just saw CISA release guidance on supply chain risk, right? Like Amazon and Microsoft and Google are investing heavily on open source software code reviews, right? Like millions of dollars going in. And like this, there is a supply chain security, like NIST cybersecurity framework. They did it a few years ago because they're always ahead of the curve. Yeah, what's up, NIST? They introduced supply chain as an entire control category within the NIST cybersecurity framework a few years ago. So supply chain is legit. And it seems like, as far as like the adoption curve, the hyper curve, or whatever you want to call that thing, that supply chain is reaching like mass adoption as far as something that everybody should care about. The social engineering awareness, that is actually quite interesting. Now, if they're baking that into just overall awareness training, and because Carl constantly falls for business email compromise, then I could see that. But I've never actually seen it called out as social engineering awareness. Again, I'd be curious if that's actually, a more fancy way of saying be mindful of phishing, right? But these are two, I would agree with this. These are two areas of mass focus that cybersecurity leaders should be thinking about in 2022. The budget part, I disagree with. That seems like a far cry from reality. I don't see Josh commenting in mod chat, so we'll just continue on to the next story.
Ransomware gang creates site for victims to search for their stolen data. On Tuesday, the Elf v. Black Cat ransomware operation began releasing sensitive data that they claim was stolen from guests and over 1,500 employees of a hotel and spa in Oregon. The ransomware gang took its tactics to a new level by creating a dedicated website allowing victims and anyone else to confirm whether their data was stolen. The gang will only remove the data from the site upon receiving ransom payment from the victims. Microsoft security analyst Brett Callow said, quote, "While it's an innovative approach, it remains to be seen whether the strategy will be successful. And of course, that will determine whether it becomes more commonplace," end quote.
Well, it'll become more commonplace if it actually works. But I will this is gross. Okay. This is gross. And I know I always give like credit to threat actors for their novel ingenuity and their innovation, but this is gross. Okay, guys. So here's what happened. Like threat actors want to get paid. Okay. And they already have, if you don't know this, when ransomware hits, typically there's like a nice clean letter explaining to you how to like what's happened in clear terms, how to get your stuff back, how to sign up for a cryptocurrency wallet, how to convert USD or whatever currency you got into cryptocurrency, and how to pay for the decryptor. So they've had this kind of customer service thing for a while. Now they're taking it to the next level where they're basically having a Troy Hunt Have I Been Pwned website where you can basically query it to see if your data is in there. Again, novel technique. They want to get it in the hands of the victims to prove that they actually have their data and make a more compelling argument that you definitely want to pay because we own your data. It would be interesting to see what it shows. Does it just say we have your data, or does it give you a snippet of what they have? Whatever. Like Black Cat was just in the news the other day. It's been rumored that Black Cat is actually a retread of Dark Side, and then of a retread of Black something. I forget it is, but basically the people who did Colonial Pipeline, right? They've gone through a couple iterations, but this is a advanced proven ransomware threat actor group. And this just shows, like, I'm wondering if their Q2 numbers aren't looking good. Like they had their quarterly sales meeting as far as numbers go, and they're like, hey, it's not really looking good. Our numbers are going down. What can we do? And like Carl's in the back. He's like, why don't we set up a query site for people to be able to see if they've been compromised and then make it easy for them to pay, right? So that could have been it. Again, hat tip to the threat actors. They do come up with novel techniques, and it seems like they're really focused not just on encrypting your data and screwing you over, but they're also focused on customer service and making sure that you get what you need in order to be able to recover your data, right? Exactly. Yeah, Carl gets Employee of the Month. He gets the nice parking spot out front. Okay, let's go.
Microsoft issues Felina fix in Patch Tuesday update.
There we go.
Microsoft's June 2022 Patch Tuesday fixes 55 vulnerabilities and addresses the Windows MSDT Felina 0-day under active exploitation, as well as new Intel MMIO flaws. The update remedies 3 critical RCE bugs, while the remainder of the flaws are classified as important. The release does not include 5 Microsoft Edge Chromium updates that were released earlier this week.
Okay. So, I mean, there's really no story here other than the Felina bug has been patched, right? So if you had the workaround, you can reverse the workaround to put that registry key back in, and after you install the patches, remind your staff, right? Like this is one of those ones where, again, vulnerability management is it's a balance. It's a collaborative effort between InfoSec and IT, because they are different departments. If you think that they're the same, definitely come every morning at 8 a.m. Because you need to learn that IT and InfoSec are 2 different things. IT people, I'm looking at you, BSec. IT people can have cybersecurity responsibilities and matrices, but their mission, their underpinning mission and goals are not exactly the same. They have different goals. And the easiest way to demonstrate this is that IT wants full uptime, 5 nines of availability, and InfoSec wants to have resiliency, which means sometimes they need to pull a system down in order to fix it, which means it's not available, right? That's like the most obvious conflict. Okay. Patch this Felina bug. This thing is nasty. It's being actively exploited out there. Maybe you're too small to get attacked. That mindset, that concept is foolhardy. As the exploit becomes more mainstream, as tools get picked up, as it gets baked into Metasploit, as script kiddies start to use it, you're going to see wider spread exposure. So you don't want to be Carl getting popped by Felina in September, right? You don't want to be that guy. All right. So go ahead, talk to your IT team, let them know that the June patches are critically important and that they need to patch Felina. By the way, like side note, why didn't Felina get like a cool graphic or something? This thing was like hot lava, radioactive BS. Like all the cool ones get a cool name-ish, right? Log4Shell wasn't a cool name, but like they get a cool name and they get a cool graphic. Like, was the graphic artist on summer vacation or something? Like I don't know. I wondered, like, who gets to decide when they get a graphic? Like Spectre got a cool graphic, and that was like not even like, I don't know, wasn't widely exploited or anything like that. But Felina, I feel like Felina could have had like a Dirty Dancing, like time of your life, like where you pick up Jennifer Grey, Patrick Swayze move. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like that would have been Felina in my mind. That's Felina.
Murder suspect admits tracking cheating partner with hidden AirTag. A Marion County court has charged an Indiana woman with murdering her partner. The woman admitted to investigators that she tracked her partner's location by dropping an Apple AirTag into a cup holder in the back seat of his car. She then trailed her partner to the pub, where she confronted him and attacked a woman who was in his company. After being removed from the pub, the woman proceeded to run the man over with her car in the parking lot, resulting in his untimely death. Investigators found an empty Apple AirTag container in the accused's car, as well as text messages confirming she used the device to pinpoint his location. And that does it for today.
Wow. Okay, so this is dark. Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay, so this like in a morbid way, like I appreciate that the story actually put the timeline of events here like as a bullet list, like as gross as it is, I found myself compelled to read it. What really sucks is this individual didn't die from getting hit by a car. They were trapped under the car and they suffocated to death. That must have been a horrible I mean, dying sucks in general, but like suffocating to death, that really sucks, man. No one wants that. Okay, so what's the real story here? These AirTag things, they're basically like tracking beacons, right? People are dropping them in, like, you know, the most obvious story is like you meet some creep at a bar and he drops it in your purse, or he drops it in your back pocket, or she drops it in your wallet, or she drops it in your little breast pocket, or whatever you want to say. Throws it in your car. These things are tiny, right? We're seeing. Okay, well, I can adjust the podcast next time. These things, people are using them all over the place. There's like tons of cool videos on YouTube of people like slapping them on the rim of their car or in the trunk of their car. Like, so if the car gets stolen, or if like your PlayStation gets stolen, or PlayStation, kind of dating myself here. I've been reading a video game history book. Anyways, AirTags, they're super cool, but obviously they have like super malicious applications. But guys, it's no like, dude, you can do Find My Phone, right? I can pinpoint like someone who has shared their location with me to a second. I guess the main difference here is that when someone does Find Me, they opt into being found, whereas the AirTag, the person doesn't have that buy-in or that awareness that they're actually being tracked. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, this person's obviously going to go to jail for murder, but yeah, God, I don't know. To me, it's like, what are you going to do? Like the AirTag use case is actually really practical, right? Like, oh, I've lost my keys, or like, you know, tie it onto like your toddler's shoelaces or something like that, and then you never have to worry about a kid wandering in the woods and being taken away, right? Like there's really, really great righteous use cases for this technology. But like anything else, like a handgun, right? Handguns can protect you, but they can also be used to rob a bank, right? So I don't think that this needs to be regulated. I just think maybe, I don't know. They're gonna come out with some like on a TV commercial where like you can buy like a 3 easy payments of $29.99, and it's like a little hand scanner that like sweeps for AirTags. I could see that. All right.
Cybersecurity headlines, but be sure to check out the.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. That's gonna do it for. That in addition to 11:30 today for the live stream heads up play. So go mods. You guys dropped. I think I know what's wrong with the audio, by the way, guys. I can fix that after. So for tomorrow, or for the stream later today, guys. Later today, if the mods can drop those 3 stream links that I put in mod chat earlier today, guys, you can come hang out today, right? And come watch this stream. I want to point out, you can either A, watch my stream with me, and I'll be the red team. So I'll be doing it like this, right? Like hot and spicy over here. And you can follow my stream, and I'll be giving my analysis on my decision-making and all this stuff. You can go to Eric Taylor's stream. He's the blue team. You can watch his stream, or, and I would recommend this, you can go to the Threat Gen feed and you can watch both Eric and my stream and have Clint Bodungeon and Simon Lindstedt doing like Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth in the booth kind of analysis of the gameplay of both of us. It's going to be a really good time. We did this a couple weeks ago with Josh Mason, and it was pretty successful experience. Josh did set the timer to like 45 seconds and didn't tell me, so I kind of like tripped and fell on my face right when the starter pistol went off, but I was able to recover eventually from that. So all about good times, guys. The final thing I want to remind you on is that this is hot, guys. Hold on, this is this hot. Ready?
It's looking spicy.
Okay, like this is hot. This Thursday, so tomorrow night at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys are like, loving the like day in the life day or whatever, Eric Taylor, who's the same Eric Taylor that I'll be competing against later today, he is a professional, cybersecurity professional, obviously, but his focus, his life, his day to day is active incident response. So when a company gets ransomware or a company gets pwned, they call Eric. So Eric's every day is somebody else's worst day, which is kind of a morbid thing to think of, but Eric lives that life. So Eric's going to come on and we're going to be talking about like, hey, Eric, like company just got popped by Black Hat ransomware or Black Cat, just got popped by Conti. Like, what's it look like? What's the phone call sound like? How do you get notified when you get on site? Who's the first person you're talking to? How are you calming people's emotions? How do you what's it like talking to the threat actors? Do you talk to them on the phone? Do you talk to them on chat? Are they dickheads? Are they really, really polite? Are they professional like their little customer service thing looks like? I don't know, but we're going to find out. We're going to get all into it. And I'm super pumped about that particular live stream. I can't wait. Actually, I'm fascinated by it. And there's only one way to really know is by either talking to someone who does it or by living it. All right. Really appreciate everybody today. I am operating from my remote site, so I don't have access to all of my bells and whistles and stuff like that, but we're making the best we can of it, and I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and draw for the coffee. You guys ready? All right. Oh, hey, and really quick, shout out to Eddie Del Castillo and Anthony Pecoraro for joining the squad. Thanks so much for squad support, guys. Okay, ready? Team Red, here we go. Gonna roll. And the winner is, oh, no kidding, I love it. The winner is DevMeister. DevMeister, congratulations on winning the coffee for today. Just DM me on Discord. We were actually chatting yesterday on Discord, so I know you know how to get on Discord and how to engage like that. So thanks everybody for entering, and congratulations to DevMeister for winning that coffee. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this stream. I guess Base was right. Base said he was gonna have to start carving out half an hour full for the stream. I tried to make it a 30-minute stream, but guys, sometimes we go long, sometimes we get expert analysis. Josh Mason jumps in the stream. Sometimes I flip out and get a little spicy, but
It's looking spicy.
It's what we do. Anthony, do a !! Discord, and you will get that link to the Discord server. It's a good time in there, so you're definitely gonna wanna jump in there. Let me also, if you are a squad member, this is important. If you are a squad member and you are in the Discord server and you do not have the squad role applied to your Discord account, DM me and I'll apply the squad. I don't have like an automated way of applying the roles because I just don't have it. So it needs to be applied manually, which I'm happy to do if you're a squad alpha member. Thanks so much. All right, guys, please join us at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, shout out to US Cyber Games for giving me this jersey. You can see it's personalized. Look at this. Got my Jerry Guy moniker on there, which is what I use for playing video games. Got my puppies as my cheerleaders over here. They're taking a nap because they're gonna be all up in it today at 11:30. Guys, thanks so much. It was episode, I don't know what it was, episode 132, June 15th. Happy hump day. We'll see you guys all at 11:30 a.m. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.